Ladies, suppose you're wondering why we've gathered you here today. Well, this is Eye on the Bay, and you're going to be starring. How do you feel about that?
We are off for an adventure.
We'll discover a little southern charm in Northern California. Along the way, you might recognize this, but do you know where I am with these guys? Are you guys having a good time? Yeah!
We're your Gotta Get Away for the Day guide, your Let's Try a New Place to Eat guide, even your Hey, it really happened here guide. We're the tour guide with you in mind. Eye on the Bay.
Welcome to Eye on the Bay. I'm Brian Hackney, and you know, many times on this program we go on some roads that are well-traveled and some roads that are less well-traveled. And these less well-traveled roads we call the roads to nowhere. They cut through swaths of landscape that aren't that far from the Bay Area, but you don't know they're there. Case in point, the spectacular Calistoga Ranch. Talk about remote. And yet, one moment you're looking out at the scenery, the next moment you're warming yourself by a cozy fireplace. This is about as indulgent as you can get in the wine country. I mean, they have a restaurant with spectacular views. Pamper yourself at the spa. And what's the point of being in wine country if you don't also have a dollop of wine? You mix all of that with the best food you can get in this part of the country, and man, you have spent a weekend. Now, I'm not done indulging myself. At the end of a weekend like this, which I spent in downtown Calistoga, most people are going to head south back toward the Bay Area, a trip of about an hour and a half. Instead, what's north of the wine country? What if we head in that direction? Inspired by three books: the mysteriously named Canocti Caves, the Tallman Hotel, and Robert Louis Stevenson's classic Kidnapped. There's a thread running through all of these books, and we're going to explore it as we hit the road to nowhere north of the wine country. You ready to go? She's ready to go. Well, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Now, 7 miles north of Calistoga, we spy this sign on the left-hand side of the road, Robert Louis Stevenson State Park. That brings us to a literary thread, this one, Kidnapped. How do I look? Exactly like the scene on the cover of the book. I look stupid, don't I? I kind of feel stupid too. But the reason they named this Robert Louis Stevenson State Park is because it was here in 1880 that he spent his honeymoon in a cabin. Now the cabin is long gone. The state park pays tribute to that period in his life, and there's plenty of trails around here to hike and see some stunning views, which we don't have time to do because we got to hit the road. Well, we hit our first stop on Highway 29 right here in a place maybe appropriately called Middletown.
A sweet, quiet town that once had a booming mining industry. Today it's a nice stop where you can stretch your legs as you leave wine country in your rearview mirror. If you've got kids in the back of the car, I recommend stopping into this colorful toy store so that everybody will be smiling when you jump back in the car and go right up.
There at that intersection is Highway 175, and that's where we take a left and continue. Whew! Man, the road is very windy, so if you're prone to car sickness, you might give yourself a little extra time. Upside, it's also scenic. About midway between Middletown and Kelseyville, you reach one big milestone. That one, Cobb Mountain. 4,720 feet high. It's the tallest mountain in the Mayacamas mountain range. And it's called Cobb after the first pioneer to settle the area. A guy named John Cobb came from Kentucky. He was born in 1814, and he's memorialized forever by the name of the mountain. And we'd love to sit here all day and just look at it, except we gotta make tracks.
Winding around Cobb, you see hints of this tiny town's past from when it was a resort destination. Now, golfers enjoy the beauty of this land on several courses. Not being the best golfer, I'm sticking to the road in search of some local characters. Well, that didn't take long.
Rounding the corner, we spot this place, the Jellystone RV Park and Campground. And why do they call it Jellystone? Well, because of the big bear. Yogi, how are you? It's good to see you, man. And Ranger Smith, of course. Cindy is over here, and Boo Boo. And you know, you guys were trying to figure out exactly what it is you do here for fun and what this park is all about. So can we go for a ride? Let's go. And away we go! Oh, wait a minute, that's Jackie Gleason's line. Danny, tell me about the park. First, the name of it is obviously
Jellystone RV Park and Campground. Every evening during the summer, we take the kids on hay rides. It's one of the events we have every day. We have 115 campsites, 4 cabins, and an A-frame.
It's a beautiful park. Do you have fun doing this?
But I'm having a ball.
Yeah.
The kids have a good time, a real good time.
Yeah, that's great. It looks like it. By the way, we've solved one of our mysteries, and the mystery is a mystery novel. This one right here. One of the 3 mystery novels, and you are actually the author.
Yes, I am.
Ah, there's the book. I recommend it. Canocti Caves.
One mystery solved, and a number of photos later, I hit the road. But just a few miles north, my hunger's getting the best of me. Just off of Cobb Mountain is Loch Lomond, where I spy this and can't help but pull in to eat. You pass into Loch Lomond, and one place that people have been stopping at for years is the Roadhouse Grill. You guys have been stopping here for years, right? Oh, yeah. Long time. Yeah. You've been living here for years, they've been stopping here for years, and this is some of the fare that they enjoy. This is the Mediterranean melt. This is the Philly cheesesteak. You guys give it a thumbs up? Good stuff? That's a lot of thumbs. More to come as we hit the twists and turns along the road to nowhere, where we'll visit a part of Clear Lake that looks like Napa Valley. And it's got the wine to boot. We'll also make new friends wherever we go. Won't we? Welcome back to Eye on the Bay. I'm Brian Hackney as we approach the end of the road to nowhere. And you remember that we began this journey a little bit north of Napa Valley, where I checked out of Calistoga Ranch and decided to switch gears by heading north in search of an unknown adventure. I drove through quaint Middletown and even stopped in Cobb, where I found a great spot for the kids. Then, getting off the windy roads and onto the beautiful flats of Kelseyville, I soaked up the scenery. Wow. This is nice. Ladies and gentlemen, the vineyards. And finally we arrive. I mean, look at that. Clear Lake, it's just gorgeous. A little bit of a schlep from the Bay Area. 3 hours north, we come to Kelseyville. We head over to the shores of the lake in the shadow of Mount Canocti, the old volcano that erupted more than 2 million years ago. That is part of the landscape that it created. Lots of things to do once you get here. There's water sports, there's wildlife, and where we're headed now is to the prosaically named Upper Lake. Back in the car on my way around the lake, a strange noise coming from the town of Lakeport forces me off the road. I figure it's an adventure after all. Let's check it out. So we cross that unbelievable bridge, drive down that road, and I find myself holding him. I'm sorry, her. Yeah, a one-day-old goat. Mommy's right over there. She's right over there. She's right over there with everybody else. So what's going on at this goat farm with a yurt? Nick, I'm Brian.
Good to see you. Beautiful day, huh?
Nice to see you too. And what do you call this place?
This is the Yerba Santa goat farm.
It's your goat farm.
Absolutely.
And this is where you live.
Right here.
You live in a yurt out
Yeah,
here.
why not?
Yeah. What's that like?
Affordable living.
Yeah. You got 20 acres. How many goats do you raise?
About 100. We produce cheese about 8 months out of the year.
And if it's a working dairy, can we go see it at work?
Let's do it.
Let's. Good morning, ladies. So out of a gallon of goat milk, how much cheese do you get?
About a pound of cheese.
Pound of cheese per gallon of milk. And you have how many goats that are being milked every day?
Well, today we've got about 76 that are ready to be milked. At the peak of the season, will be about 80 to 90.
And they don't mind having tubes hooked up to their nipples?
No, they don't seem to mind it at all. As long as they've got a mouthful of grain, I think they're pretty happy.
So in here you extract the milk, and from here, where does the milk go?
It travels through these tubes over there, and it goes through the building into the cheese making room.
Next, the milk gets pumped through these pipes, gets pasteurized, and then what's happening here?
Then it goes into a cheesecloth and hangs for a couple of days, releases all the whey. Then we're left with the curds. We mold that into a mold like this. In this case, this is a manchego.
So from milk to that manchego in 3 months. And what other kind of cheeses do you do?
We do a fresca, which is a semi-soft cheese, spreadable cheeses mixed with herbs and other spices. There's some hard cheeses, really about 12 varieties.
And they go from here to where do you
Primarily farmers markets, for example, the Ferry Building Market on Saturdays in San Francisco, the Sebastopol Sunday Market, cheese shops, Whole Foods.
It also goes to a restaurant that you're very familiar with.
Oh, indeed.
In fact, Nick has another job that we're going to be showing you when our Road to Nowhere continues after a break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Eye on the Bay. I'm Brian Hackney. As we approach the end of our Road to Nowhere, you'll remember we began this trip just a little bit north of the Napa Valley. Well, now we're at a place that looks for all the world like it is Napa Valley. I mean, there's wine, there's cheese, there's vineyards. But there's one thing this has that Napa Valley doesn't. That. What's the name of that body of water?
This is called Clear Lake, which could be the oldest lake in North America.
Really?
It dates back about 2.25 million years old. It's a fairly shallow lake. It's average 28 feet deep. It's a great bass fishing lake.
Yeah. And you are called?
Jim Fetzer.
And this is your impressive property.
This is Ciego Vine Garden. And we call it a vine garden because, as you see, it's not just a vineyard, it's more than a vineyard, it's a garden.
And part of what you do is biodynamics. What's that all about?
Well, you've heard of organic.
Yeah.
Biodynamic would be the next level. So we have the same standards of organic, but we have a list of things to do beyond that.
The glass of rosé that you're holding in your hand, that's a biodynamic wine?
The wine's made from biodynamic grapes.
Oh, I haven't heard that one before.
Well, the primary product that we grow here is grapes to make wine. Part of biodynamics is diversity. So we grow olives and we make olive oil. If you look over in this area, we have a big field of lavender. And we distill the lavender flowers to get the essential oil, and then we make products like soaps and lotions. It's unbelievable. It's like a little bit of paradise.
Worth the trip?
Oh, I think it's very well worth the trip, if you're adventurous.
Yeah.
Wine paired with nature is a perfect blend. But now I'd better head off to my resting quarters for the evening. And good thing I have just the spot in mind.
Hi.
Hi,
Brian Hackney, how are you?
Brian.
Good
Welcome
see
to
you.
Tallman Hotel.
You know, I have read about this hotel.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you read it from?
In that beautiful little book that you guys put together.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Here you go, Brian. Here's your key to your room.
Isn't this right around the corner?
It is, and let me know if there's anything I may help you with.
I will absolutely do
Okay,
that.
enjoy your stay.
Thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome.
The Tallman Hotel reopened its doors in 2003 thanks to owners Bernie and Lynn's vision to restore the historic hotel to its late 1800s glory. My room is perfect, but my appetite tells me it's time to check in with my buddy from the goat farm, Chef Nick.
And then, just across the garden from the rooms, look at what's waiting for you at the Blue Wing Restaurant. This is gorgeous looking food. That's the man who prepared it. You remember him from earlier in the day. That's Nick. And I guess the specialty here is kind of this hearty, California cuisine?
California wine country cuisine, certainly.
Yeah, it's really hearty looking stuff. I mean, and I don't even know where to begin, but you recognize this, yes, from the farm?
Absolutely. Some of our mornings queso fresco we use on the salad here.
Yeah. I mean, it really is beautiful. In fact, I mean, just look at this bounty that I've got at the end of the road to nowhere. So remember the name, the Blue Wing Saloon Cafe here at Upper Lake, and I'm afraid that we've reached the end of the road to nowhere. But you know what's great is when the road to nowhere actually does lead somewhere. I mean, along the way from Calistoga to Clear Lake to the great people that you meet in between. Robert Louis Stevenson would be proud. If you want more information, log on to our website, cbssf.com/Eye in the Bay. For now, I'm Brian Hackney. Appreciate you watching and reading. See you next time.
Promotional consideration provided by Calistoga Ranch Residences and the Tallman Hotel.